Falcon and the Winter Soldier is the brand new MCU show to hit Disney Plus, and after the success of WandaVision, this has a lot of expectations behind it as well. But look, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a show that has had a few trailers, but hasn't really got me too impressed. You know, like for WandaVision, I liked the trailers because I thought this was absolutely different, looked insane, looked weird. I kind of like that kind of stuff. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier, some of the chemistry between the two, Sam and Bucky, it's just some of the teams that they set up didn't really get me interested. Of course, the action looked brilliant, as always for MCU movies and shows. The action is pretty good, and that's what kind of got me interested. But it was Marvel, so I was going to watch it anyway. It wasn't like I was going to boycott this because the trailers didn't get me interested. I was going to watch it either way, so I sat down to watch the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 1, titled New World Order, and it isn't what I was expecting. At the end of Avengers Endgame, we get to see that Steve Rogers has come back. Well, not come back, but he's kind of been on an alternate timeline. And he returns as old man Steve Rogers to give Sam the shield, to be the next Captain America. And even though I didn't agree with, not the choosing, I don't mind Sam as Captain America, I thought that was actually a good progression. I didn't really agree with what they did with Steve Rogers and making him live in an alternate timeline and then become old, that kind of stuff. But people liked it. It worked. One of the highest grossing films of all time, so who am I to complain? But from this show, I was expecting a spy thriller with loads and loads of action, and we probably will get that. It probably will be like Captain America, The Winter Soldier, or Captain America, Civil War. It probably will have those teams big time, especially when Zemo is introduced. But this episode surprised me because it tackled issues of PTSD and probably race, even though it didn't really push that button too much. It kind of had an underlining tone of racism in America, and also about how Sam, who's a hero, who's an Avenger, when he has the suit on, he's treated completely different to when he doesn't have the suit on, which I actually thought was an interesting theme to hit. America is dealing with the loss of Captain America, and you know what? So is Sam, so is Bucky. Their friend is gone, or he's not as impactful to them as he used to be, you know, that kind of way. He has moved on with his life, he has lived his life, and they're kind of left here now in this world, in this environment that they don't really understand too much, because there's a nice parallel between Sam and Bucky, because Bucky has just got out of that kind of Winter Soldier mode and he had to fight for the Avengers. Now he's kind of on his downtime. He's trying to get used to society after nearly 100 years of being a bad guy and killing innocent people or killing people for Hydra. You know, that has a lot of toll on him. And then Sam just returned from the snap. He's been missing for 5 years along with millions of other people on the planet, so he's dealing with that as well, trying to come back, but he's working for the American government. And then you got Bucky, who's just kind of living day to day, working with a psychiatrist, and he has this kind of bucket list of people that he wants to interact with and kind of get forgiveness, or to tell them, I'm not the Winter Soldier anymore, I'm Bucky, you know. So I did like that dynamic big time. But Bucky is dealing with his PTSD, and there's even moments in this episode where he wakes up from his sleep having bad memories of the people that he killed, which was pretty dark. And I like how this show so far in episode 1 are tackling these issues. We got a nice cameo in this episode because Don Cheadle showed up, aka War Machine. Now, I do like War Machine as a character. I was a bit sad in Civil War because I thought he was going to die, but I just like how this character, Rhodes, has kind of stayed around all this time since Iron Man 2, you know, and the legacy of Iron Man can live on through him. But Sam is at this ceremony, he's given this speech. It looks like it's him giving back the shield being put into a glass case, probably in the museum, Captain America's museum. And that's what it seemed like at the time, but at the end of the episode we find out that's not the case. But it cuts to Don Cheadle's War Machine in the audience, and there's certain parts of the speech from Sam, which was a moving speech about what Captain America's symbol stands for. So I thought that was really well done, and Anthony Mackie's acting there was very good. But Don Cheadle, in his emotions while he's acting, you can see that he's lost his friend Tony Stark. Tony Stark died for the world. Iron Man died for the world. But people look at Iron Man, they see Iron Man, but it was his friend that died and sacrificed himself, who now, his daughter, doesn't have a father. So, you know, I could see the emotion. Like, Don Cheadle's character didn't say anything about Tony Stark, but I could just see in his acting that's what he was thinking in those moments about Captain America. So and Iron Man, the two of them. So I did like that very much. Thought it was good. And the two of them have an interaction about, man, you should take up this. You should be the Captain America. but Sam doesn't think he's worthy or he's ready for it. So it was a nice interaction between those two, and it was pretty cool to see Don Cheadle show up. I wonder will he show up in more of the episodes. I think he's supposed to be in the Iron Heart series as well, and a few other the Disney Plus shows. So I do like him as a character and as an actor, so it's going to be cool to see him pop up in future things. First episode wasn't action packed. The opening scene was, which was absolutely brilliant. I have to say that it had Sam, it had Falcon. You know, he's going on an adventure and a mission for the American government or the American army, and he can't be seen, and he can't go into a different country because he doesn't have the territory there. So he has to kind of get it done in the time frame that he has. I think you got George St. Pierre, the UFC fighter. He's back. He was in Winter Soldier, I think, and he's a villain now again in this one. And yeah, so Falcon has to try and stop these guys because they have a hostage. So, but look, it followed Falcon in the sky, following the helicopter, following these guys on parachutes or kind of whatever it is that can fly through the sky, and it was a really good sequence. It was really well shot, it looked good, it was entertaining, and you know what, had some nice payoff as well. It went on for a little bit long, but you know what, it was well worked, and I really enjoyed it. And I have to say to the team that made this scene happen, the director and the visual effects and the stunt team, I think Anthony Mackie did most of his own stunts there as well, as best as they could, so it looked amazing. It was a really good job, but we didn't get much more action apart from that. We had kind of a, as I said, in Bucky's nightmare, you get to see him fight a little bit, which was actually pretty cool. His fight scenes have actually been brilliant. You know, I thought the Russo brothers in the Winter Soldier, the fight scenes there in Civil War, pretty good stuff. You know, they did shoot them well, and even in Attraction with Chris Hemsworth, the action there was good. So those guys can do action, or at least they get the right team involved when they are doing action. Yeah, so there was good action those two times, but this episode was more of a character story. It was hitting those themes of PTSD, of racism, of how your country treats you, very much after you come back from a war. You know, I've heard many stories of soldiers who come back from wars, you know, in Iraq or wherever. They come back, they're dealing with PTSD, but they're also dealing with their own country, not kind of accepting them or helping them when they're in their struggles. And we had that with Sam and his family. He's been gone for 5 years, but I think his sister was raising her 2 kids and also trying to manage the family business, and the business hasn't been going that well, and they're losing money and they can't finance things. So that was an interesting dilemma there, how, you know, real world issues are being put into this show, and it's cool to see characters that we love, superheroes, deal with world life issues. And that was pretty good. They go to the bank to try and get a loan for the business, and they fail, and that's kind of Sam realizing, like, okay, I'm the Falcon. I fought for the Avengers. I fought alongside Tony Stark, and he's this pillar of what humanity should be, a hero. And now I'm left here, and when I don't have my Falcon suit on, I'm not being helped. My family's not being helped. So I did like that team big time. And it's about him struggling. He gave back the shield to, I think, the American government or the army, and said, look, I don't want to be Captain America. And I actually found that interesting, because I thought he would just pick up the mantle straight away. I thought he would have the shield and he would deal with, okay, am I good enough to be Captain America? But he gave it back. He said, no, I don't want to be Captain America. So I did think that was interesting as well. But then by the end of the episode, the American government or the people have chosen a new Captain America. And I don't even know who the guy is. He steps out, there's a big unveiling. This is the new Captain America. And I don't know who it is whatsoever. And it's a white person. And like, earlier in the episode, you had the government head or the person overall. He goes over to Sam and he shakes his hand. Thanks, you made the right decision. Like, was that a race issue right there already? Like, did he not want Captain America to be black? No, I think that's something that's going to be addressed, because I think the writers are black, and I think the woman in this that's the director of all 6 episodes is a white woman. So that's an interesting theme that I think they're going to hit about racism too, because what's wrong with Sam? He was chosen by the Captain America to be the new Captain America, and now that he doesn't want it, and they think it's a right decision, and they bring in a white Captain America. So I did find that theme very interesting, and I hope they address it further in the next 5 episodes. Also, there was a nice little thing going on with Bucky. As I said, he has a list. He goes through the list telling people, I'm not the Winter Soldier anymore, and maybe people who have abused their power. He tries and gets them arrested, and there was a nice little scene there between him and his psychiatrist. Some good humour between the two, some funny moments. I did like the camera style that they were using as well. But there's kind of this old man that Bucky has become friends with, and is kind of minding him and looking after him, bringing him for dinner and stuff like that. And I thought it was very sweet. And he even, the old man kind of sets up a date for him as well. And Bucky goes on the date with this girl, and it seems to be all going well. And then kind of a certain word kind of triggers Bucky about losing, parents losing their kids. And I was like, what's this about? And Bucky leaves the date. He goes to the old man's house. and he sees a picture of the old man's son who had been killed, and the old man is dealing with this loss of his son, and you can see that Bucky is dealing with some sort of stress or some sort of guilt towards it. You're like, what's this about? And then it pans to the picture of his son, and that's the same person in Bucky's dream that he killed. So Bucky's responsible for killing this old man who was his friend. You know, he killed his son, so that's an interesting thing right there. And Bucky wasn't able to tell the old man. Maybe he will in the next few episodes. That's a big guilt to have, especially since he's been the Winter Soldier for so long. He's been a bad person. He didn't know exactly what he was doing, but he still did bad things, and he's dealing with that, the PTSD. So look, this episode wasn't what I was expecting. I thought there would be a little bit more action. Bucky and Sam never even meet. They never even meet in this episode, which I thought was insane as well. We only have 5 episodes to go, so they have to tell this big story. We've yet to introduce, I think, Sharon Carter. We have to introduce Zemo as well. What's the big villains in this whole thing? What's this plot of this entire series? But I did like the themes that they touched, and I wasn't expecting it to be such a slow burn character story. And for me, I actually appreciate this types of storytelling from the MCU. Hopefully they stick the landing in episode 2 and 3. Hopefully they bring the teams that they brought into this into the next few episodes, because it would be a shame to drop what they set up. Very much like a WandaVision, they kind of dropped what they set up in the previous episodes, but I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting more action, and I'm not giving out that there wasn't as much action. No, I'm sure that will come, of course, but I just like how it was a slow burn character story with real world issues with heroes. So yeah, I actually enjoyed this episode very much. I wasn't expecting it. I really wasn't. And you know what, even though the trailers didn't get me excited for this show, I'm excited to watch the next 5 episodes, and I will. I'll review them, because this episode had something special about it, and hopefully the storytelling quality remains for the next 5 episodes. But guys, did you check out Falcon and the Winter Soldier? What was your thoughts on this? Was it a show that you were hyped for? Is it a show that maybe let you down because of the lack of action? Maybe just a lack of anything that you were looking for? Let me know. I'm very interested. Give a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, guys, and follow me on all the socials. That stuff is in the end credits, and I'll catch you in the next one. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a show that I was not hyped for, but after this episode, I'm going to watch the next 5 episodes, and I'm looking forward to next week's already. So guys, as always, have a good one. Enjoy, be kind, and let me know your thoughts. Okay, see you then, guys.